Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do 3 impossibly easy DIY Dollar Tree farmhouse decor projects to add some farmhouse feel to your house. First one, we're going to use 3 buckets and stickers and a Sharpie. I've actually used these stickers as well from the Dollar General because there's no numbers and I wanted to make mine number 1, number 2, number 3. But even if you had to go to the Dollar General to get those stickers, this would, the whole project would cost you about $3, but really it's only just $2. Now, I've had lots of comments in the past about how I have beautiful handwriting and how skilled I am, and I wanted to do a DIY project that anybody could do with little to no items. I like these white plastic buckets because they already have that enamel feel that we talked about in a previous video. And I'm just going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to darken the edges to make it look like the enamel paint is chipping off. And I'm gone around all the edges, and I originally thought I wanted to do the handle black as well, and I started to, and I was like, this is just going to be so much trouble. So what I ended up doing was I'm going to remove the handle, and we're just going to do the hinge that holds the handle on, and we're going to leave the handle white, but you can color the handle in if you want to. If you can hold a Sharpie marker or the Dollar Tree's big fake fat Sharpie marker, then you can do this project. Okay? If you could peel stickers, then you can do this project. So we're just going to go, and you can distress it as much or as little as you want. I've seen some people do DIYs where they just put the black edging on. They don't worry about putting the chips in. You can do that if you want to. You can just do the black edging on the top and leave the black edging off the bottom if you want to. Honestly, it's a matter of personal preference and however you're feeling that day or whatever your skill level is. I always recommend when you're new to crafting to start small and go big, because what you could do is you could just take your black Sharpie and do your top line and live with it and see, no, you know what, maybe I would like the bottom line, and then you can do the bottom line and then you can live with it, and then you can go ahead and add your chips and you can live with it. But I showed you there that even though I started to make the handle black, I just took an alcohol swab and I was able to wipe that right off. I don't know that it will necessarily be able to work if you do it like months later. It's possible it will, but that's definitely because the Sharpie was new and it really hadn't become permanent just yet. And now I'm going to do the same with the other 2 buckets. These handles come off really easy. They're sort of like 2 little pieces of plastic that are pinched inside a hole. So what I just do so I don't break it is as I simultaneously pull on the handle from the outside as I push the 2 pieces from the inside. I push them out, and it just makes it so easy. It's actually easier to take them out than it is to put them in, but they go in pretty easy too. So just distress as little or as much as you want. Now I just decided to go with the number 1, 2, and 3 buckets, but I thought that these would look very, very pretty if you had like little black stickers. You could say different sayings. You could say farmhouse, you could say fresh, you could say fresh eggs. We've seen so many different things on here, but you can also make them task specific. So you could put pens, pencils, markers. You could put soaps, napkins, soaps, washcloths, hand towels, or you can even do forks, spoons, and knives. So really you can make them task specific as well. Okay? Now, we are showing you how to do the chips. If you've ever seen one of these in real life, you know that the chips usually end up being round. I don't know why. I'm thinking it's because the conical shape of the container, but I'm not really sure 100% sure why they don't come out like square chips, but that's what happens. So you just try to keep an organic shape. I call them little amoebas, so you just draw a little amoeba on there. I like to put some at the top and the bottom and around the handles where they get worn. So now I'm just going to take the ends from the Dollar Tree's poster board stickers. I needed 2 packs because there's only 2 ends per pack. And then we're just going to use the dots from like the exclamation points instead of using a 0 or we're going to just use them like and decimal point and then the number. But I also can tell you that if you don't have these stickers, you could use a stencil. You can print something off the computer and trace it. Or you could just handwrite numbers 1, 2, and 3. Because for all intents and purposes, these were probably stamped or handwritten back in the day anyway. Okay? And I just tried to line them up as evenly as possible, and there it is. And then they are just so cute. I like that they each one have their own little personality. And if you want, you could always turn them over and they're blank on the other side, or the stickers peel off real easy if you want to change your mind. So for this next one, we're going to use this specific canvas, and then we're going to use a wall cling, but you could also use letters. I wanted to show you that you can write whatever you want if you want something different. So the reason we're using this specific wall cling is, I mean not wall cling, this specific canvas art is because it's gray color. The colors on it are so similar in tone that you don't have to paint the inside of the canvas. Unless you're going to put it right directly in front of a lamp, you can't see through the canvas to see what picture is on the other side. So I didn't even bother painting it. That's what makes this one so easy. But what made this one difficult is because I'm not feeling well. And I had the worst time cutting this canvas off. So originally I was just going to pull out the staples, because that's happened for me very, very conveniently in the past. And then that didn't want to work for me because I didn't have any strength. So I took out my craft knife to cut away the canvas. And then I had trouble with the corners. So what I ended up doing was a combination. I ended up cutting some of the canvas to loosen it when I was able to free off some of the little strips that had the staples on them, and I slowly pulled them out, and some of the staples came with them. And I also used the screwdriver whenever possible. It also has a sawtooth hanger that we're going to repurpose, so we just pried that out with the screwdriver. You could pry it out with your scissors if you don't have a screwdriver at your workstation. Okay? And because, like I said, this is canvas does not need to be painted. It has a natural finish on the back, which I really, really like. It's not bright white. It's a very muted ivory color, which is really nice. And you'll see it fits perfectly right back on there. So you're just going to glue the top and start to go down the sides of the two sides. And then you're going to place it exactly back in the square that was shaped. And then you're going to pull on one side of the canvas as the glue dries. And then you're going to turn it over. You're going to glue up the remaining three sides. And then you're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Just pull on the canvas so the canvas is kind of stretched. And now I just wanted to put "Stay Humble." I wanted to make this specifically. I bought this sticker specifically for this project, and I ended up losing the word "be" anyway, so it was kind of cool. But the channel's growing so much, and I just want to remind myself to just to stay humble. I get a lot of beautiful comments, and you guys love me so much, but it's really important that I stay as grounded as possible. So then we're just going to go ahead and cut around the canvas without scissors. Again, if you're a righty, you want to cut along the right side of something so that the bottom blade of your scissor cuts cleanly against the object. And then we're going to put the sawtooth hanger back. It just hammers through the wood. Just make sure it's positioned properly. Hammers, or you can bang it with your scissor, whatever works. And then I actually ended up standing it up instead of actually hanging it. So here's how it looks. It's really cute. You can't tell that it's a wall cling. It just looks like we took some beautiful handwriting. So for the next project, we're going to use a wall cling of our choice, 11 by 14 picture frame, and this shopping bag that looks like shiplap. I really love it. It's grays and blue and white tones. It was really pretty, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. The only thing that I didn't mention that you can use in the description box, and I'll show you why I didn't mention it, is I want to show you how simply it would be to just do a real simple whitewash on here. And this is an official whitewash where we're sanding and we're staining and we're distressing. This is a really, really simple. So you remove all the contents from your frame, and I'm taking a tissue. This is not fancy. It's a tissue. I dipped it in the cap of some white chalk paint, and I'm just rubbing it on. I wanted to say that if you could blow your nose, you could make this project, but you really do need to use the scissor too. So, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just making sure I get all on the edges, on the outsides, on the inside, and I'm not worrying about how much brown is left over, because think about it. What's the point of putting paint on just so you can remove it? It looks really good like this, I promise. And there was a spot I had to go back because I actually was holding onto it with paint on my finger, and I ended up removing some of the paint. So be careful of that. Okay, and that's so simple. That's why I didn't tell you need a white paint, because you could leave it brown as well, and it will work just as well. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the shiplap off of this bag. We're actually going to use about one side and the bottom, so you'll have some left over for another project if you want. And we're going to make this shiplap go horizontal because that's the way aesthetically pleasing to me. So I've just opened the cut along the seams on both sides, as well as continued across the sides of the bottom. All right, as you can see there. And then I laid my piece of glass on top. What's nice about this bag is it does have lines on it, so you can make it even. It does have horizontal lines, which work with that. That works really well. And then I'm just going to take my black Sharpie, and I want to just line up the glass to get the image that I want. So maybe I don't want to start at the blue line at the top or whatever, and then cut around all sides. If you're going to trace around the glass, make sure you cut on the inside of the line, even though I've missed a couple of spots there, because you don't want your piece to be bigger than your glass because it won't fit in your frame. And then this is just a regular scissor, nothing fancy. Okay, now we're going to turn our frame over, put the glass back, put the piece of shiplap shopping bag in. We always return all of our paper to our bags, don't ask me why. And then close it down nice and tight. You want to close it down nice and tight so it removes the wrinkles from the shopping bag, and that worked out really well. Now, this is the funniest part of the story. I got this sticker and it says, faith doesn't make things easy, it makes things possible. Well, apparently, whoever was opening the box at the Dollar Tree cut it in half. So this little project that was going to be so simple anybody can do it ended up being a test of my patience. Again, it did not make it easy. It made it possible. I just thought it was really funny because I was like, oh, okay, so now I'm having to, make this really easy 2-second project. I have to piece these words back together again. So the good news is it cut through almost the whole way through faith. It cut almost the whole way through the middle piece, and then it didn't really cut any of the bottom piece of the word possible. And of course, Luke 13:7 was perfect. So, and I like this. I love this saying. As a matter of fact, I think I talked to you guys about this when I hold this cling, but it just really makes my heart happy. And I love the way this project came out. And that was the easiest farmhouse DIY we've ever done. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed these projects. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, do me a favor and just stick them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in learning how to make any of these projects real quick to add a little farmhouse charm to their home. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a video. And as always, you guys take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!